You had President Biden handle a critically important NATO summit. A day later, go and handle not only that, what we just saw, the town hall kind of format, but also that huge fiery rally we saw in Detroit. 40,000 donations came in just during that press conference alone on Thursday night. Is there any doubt to remain that the presidential nominee for the Democratic Party is President Joe Biden?
Well, he's made clear that he's running, and he said after the debate, which we all know was terrible, that when you get knocked down, you get back up and you keep fighting. And that's what he's doing. And a lot of us, particularly in the Black Caucus, we've got his back because he's had ours. And we're going to continue to do everything we can to ensure that come November, we are reelecting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and we're sending Donald Trump into retirement.
Yeah, you know, Congresswoman, I posted yesterday on my Twitter account that the Democratic Party has always been known as the big tent party. There's always supposed to be room for everybody. But I felt like the recent very loud naysayers don't represent the entirety of the party, and that the shared values that apply to the voters is really what counts. And so when it comes down to the wire, it's got to be Biden in that office when it comes to the values that are going to be a reflection of the Democratic Party.
That's right. And look, 14 million Democrats voted for him to be our nominee. I have been talking to a wide variety of voters in my own district, in my state of Virginia. I've traveled to Michigan. I've been in New Orleans. I've been here in New York. And the base is with him. And it is particularly in the Black community. Labor has made clear they are with him. We have our eyes on the prize.
Yeah.
Our eyes are on the fact that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as a team brought this country from the brink of disaster that Donald Trump put us in, and that they need to finish the job in building an economy that leaves no one behind, that they need to protect our freedoms, which are under attack. And the alternative is very clear. We have a former president who has made clear he will be a dictator on day one. He has a playbook of exactly what he's going to do and how he's going to do it in the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025, created by people who worked for Donald Trump. The RNC adopted a platform that mirrors a lot of what's in Project 2025. And now we have a Supreme Court that has said, we are going to give you the leeway to do whatever you want, even if it breaks the law, to achieve your goals. And that is an America I don't want to live in, and I don't want my children or my grandchildren to live in. We know what's at stake, and we are going to do everything we can to make sure that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are reelected, that we take back the House and we keep the Senate.
Congresswoman, last night, President Biden laid out his second-term agenda. Amazing highlights would include restoring Roe v. Wade, raising minimum wage, banning assault weapons, leading the world on clean energy, a permanent child tax credit, $35 insulin cap for all. I could go on, and I think one of the most important ones, honestly, is the signing of the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. These are feasible goals for a second Biden administration?
They are feasible goals, but they are going to require that we have the House and we keep the Senate. Because I have seen right now MAGA Republicans in the House who have thwarted every opportunity to make progress in achieving those goals, that they are trying to roll back the progress that we have made, not just in the first 2 years of the Biden-Harris administration. We had one colleague who said he wanted to roll us back to the 1960s. And so we need to make sure this is a team effort, that not just are we reelecting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, because they've gone as far as they can go with the administrative authority that they have. But folks, I think we need to understand we also need control of the legislative branch. And when we take back the House, we will be, and when we keep the Senate, we will be in a position to do the things that he laid out that are incredibly popular with the American people.
With all American people, and that is important. Congresswoman Jennifer McClellan, thank you again for the honor of joining me on my show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert, and be sure to join me, Rachel Maddow, Jen Psaki, Lawrence O'Donnell, Steve Kornacki, Joy Reid, and many more September 7th in Brooklyn, MSNBC Live Democracy 2024. Click on the link for ticket information. We will see you there.